It's Friday, and that means we are live. So what we're going to do is we have our 427 cubic inch small block Chevy on the dyno. This is our baby blue engine that we built last year. So this is a Summit block 427 fully forged bottom end, hydraulic roller, trick flow heads with Jessel valve train. And we brought this thing back. We actually just wrapped up this episode, brought it back, switched it over to multi-port fuel injection with Holley's new high ram front feed intake, and we added twin 66, 62 Summit turbos. So what we're gonna do here is we're actually gonna make a live dyno pool for you guys.
I don't know if this is a good idea, but we're doing it anyway.
We're doing it. So we've been testing the heck out of this thing. This has, I think we're at like 70-ish, almost 70 dyno pools at over 1,000 horsepower. So this is relatively tried and true,
right.
But we wanted, this is really cool, so we wanted to show you guys this as a little bit of a teaser, and then we'll get into our normal live answering questions, talking about upcoming videos and things like that.
As you know, we usually don't let the cat out of the bag on power numbers. Now, we still want you to watch this show when it comes out, but this is a little teaser. These are low boost pulls. We turn the wick up on the show, but this is really cool because engine's on. Why not show a dyno pull? So, yeah. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I've been ready.
Here we go.
Go for it.
All right. Start. Hold on to something. Here we go. Just like that.
Woo-hoo.
Smooth as glass.
Clean.
I mean, if you look.
I mean, low boost.
Low boost. 1,087, 1,019 pound-feet.
Yeah.
You know, nice, easy, you know, just kind of like a cruise nut type of horsepower.
This is still a street engine,
this
right?
Is a street engine.
So, like we said, we actually turned it up from there in the show. So the engine made a lot more, but you have to wait for the show to watch that. What we're going to do now is we're going to shut it down. We'll go inside. We're going to talk a little bit about this project, and we're going to talk about the episode that literally just dropped this morning. So if you haven't already seen that, we had a brand new episode drop on the Engine Power YouTube channel this morning. It is the 434 cubic inch UMP modified engine that we built with the UNOH crew. So this is a full race engine that was built for the UNOH motorsports team. We went up there and actually built the engine. Ooh, you can feel the heat. That's nice.
It's crackling, Smart. Listen to it. It's crackling.
Yeah, it's cool. It's trying to cool down again. So we built it with 3 students, Wilson, Brett, and Nash. And this was a combo that we put together with them. They had some parts. We got some parts with some great partners of ours. And we wanted to build a large displacement engine that had a lot of torque off the corners. And I think this thing fit the bill perfectly. So we went up to UNOH, built it in the UNOH Motorsports team's shop, and then we dynoed it at UNOH on one of their Superflow PowerMark dynos. It was an awesome build, 434 cubic inches, so 4155 bore, 4-inch stroke, custom ground comp cam. We got, Jessel lifters, Jessel rocker arms, had a set of All-American CNC 13-degree profiler heads with a Wilson profiler 13-degree intake that was fully ported by Wilson. Ran it with a QFT 1050 annular carb, and the thing made an insane amount of power naturally aspirated on their dyno. So it was a great episode. If you haven't seen it, the link is actually in this live video. There is a link in the description of this video that will take you right to that one, so you can check it out on the Engine Power YouTube channel. So make sure you do that today.
This is a competition engine too that we built for them. This thing's going to be out there running at their track in a new chassis. So pretty neat to see that. We build a lot of street-based stuff. I mean, street's a relative term, right? So, but the race stuff that we do, this is like a legitimate competition engine that's out there running with some very, very big names running against it, right?
Yeah.
And this is like kind of our first crack at it, but it's a really good engine. Sound, it made a lot of power for what we're doing, and it was a lot of fun. We get to do all the stuff that's cool with race engines, even not just street engines.
We don't do a lot of race engines, as you know, if you watch the show pretty regularly. But this is a really cool opportunity we have with them, because we got to build a race engine with them last year. We built a 406 cubic inch stock car engine, so it had a cast iron head rule, and that made great power here and on our dyno. And this year we decided we wanted to go up there and work on it up there and do it with them. So that engine is going to go into a brand new chassis. It's going to be running in competition for years to come. So it's really cool to be able to do that with the students and then watch as that engine goes out and competes. So But back to our current project that you just saw us run.
Again, this is a little behind the scenes because obviously this has not aired yet. This is like normally we don't even mess with any of this before it airs. Now we tease it, and we always get a lot of comments about why don't you do the show the numbers, because we want you to watch the show when it comes out, right?
It's secret,
because
right?
It's kind of secret, and I know people are like, well, why don't you? Well, it's because of what we do. We want people to watch the full build, understand why we put the parts in it, why we did, and when it runs, that's the big payoff. We like it to be a surprise.
Yeah. So at any point during this live, if you have any questions about the UNOH engine or this 427, make sure you drop them in the comments. We are watching the comments, so we're going to be answering some questions later on in the live. But I'll just tell them a little bit about this package, how it started, and what we did to it this time.
Okay, this particular package, because of its color, was pretty famous. We like painting engines unconventional colors. This is a small block Chevy. This is a 427 cubic inch Gen 1 small block Chevy. This is Summit's new aftermarket block, right? It has a set of trick flow heads, 230cc. Holley's brand new EFI high ram, right? And this has also some, it has good parts, and it has a good piston in it. It's got one of Summit's pistons in it. Has, forged crank, forged connect, forged H-beam connecting rods, good rod bolts, all the things that we know. Now, we built this engine naturally aspirated and with a different manifold on it and a carburetor, made over 600 horse. But this particular one, we didn't really plan it. But in the back of our mind, like, well, this thing has the right parts in it. I bet you this thing will hold a lot of power. So we brought it back. Bringing it back, it's easy. We changed the manifold itself. We didn't have to change the piston or anything like that. We changed the manifold when we built the turbo system. Now, I can't weld my way out of a wet paper bag, but Frankie welded all this stuff up, and it looks great. And the most important part is none of it fell off, because if it would have, I would have given him a lot of guff over that one.
Yeah.
But this particular one, it is intercooled. One of the questions people say when we dyno stuff, why isn't there a fan in front of the intercooler? Well, this particular room has so much air going through it. We have a 20,000 CFM plenum in the back that exchanges the entire volume of the room every 6 seconds. So air coming through our inlet comes through and just blows through here. So this has a lot of air going through it, so our inlet air temps stay cool. On this one, they never got above 83 degrees.
Yeah, we did a lot of testing with that we've done it with a bunch of our turbocharged engines. So we tested this one before and after. We actually have it unplugged right now because we're doing some testing, see what you can do without inlet air temp stuff. But yeah, so this is a really cool combo because the engine itself is pretty much a catalog engine. None of the parts are custom. You can get all the parts right out of like Summit Racing's catalog or piece it together. Yeah, so we got to test out some new stuff too. So like I said, this is Holley's new high ram front feed small block Chevy intake manifold. They have another one that is the conventional high ram.
This one's a lower profile one. The other ones look like a conventional LS where it comes up and it has the actual throttle body up. This is a lower profile one.
But what I like about this is I know it looks tall, but it has good hood clearance. Like if you had a conventional 4150 style intake manifold, by the time you get the carburetor on, it's about there.
About the same height,
and then you got an air cleaner on top of that. So this is nice low profile, fits with a distributor in the back. So we got one of their dual sync distributors. Comes with nice fuel rails with multiple heights for different injectors. We have a set of trick flow 110 pound per hour injectors in there. We are running this thing on some good race gas on some C12, so that is plenty of an injector for like 16 or 1700 horse, depending on what pressure you're running at. And obviously, because like he said, we like making engines look good and look pretty, we had to color match the intake to the rest of the engine. So POR 15 engine enamel that we custom mix up the color to match exactly what we did last time. So that looked great. 95 millimeter front-facing throttle body, and then obviously kind of like the star of the show, a set of 66, 62 Summit turbos. These are fed by a set of Flowtech up and forward turbo headers. So these are 1 7/8 primary, 2.5 inch collector, set of twin Summit 44 millimeter wastegates. And these turbos, I know everybody's going to say these turbos are a little small, and that technically could be true. They are sized for what the engine. This is still considered a street engine in our minds. Hydraulic roller, relatively easy to put together, and this is still a street engine. So
this engine will 100% run on pump gas.
Yeah.
And you could probably, if you're really, really careful with your tune-up, this will make about what we made just now on this live poll. The reason that we have it tuned in like the way we do, we have the race gas in it because we had planned on leaning on it, and we sure did lean on it.
We didn't want
you'll see that when the show comes out.
We wanted to test the engine, not the limit of the fuel. So we just put good fuel in it and just start there, and then worked up. So yeah, so the turbos are really responsive. So when we actually, I mean, you probably, I don't know if you saw it out there, but when you load this thing in at 3,500, it's making basically 1,000 pound-feet at 3,500. It is no joke. So yeah, we had to do a little bit of fab to get the turbos set. These are just conventional turbos. They're not symmetrical turbos or anything. So we were able to get them looking pretty nice with a little bit of fab work and fitment. Had to make some elbows and things like that. But it came out really nice. It looks really cool. And it works spectacularly. I mean, the engine doesn't leak. It runs great. It starts and idles. It drives like grandma's station wagon if you put it in a car, but it makes a large amount of power.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about is making big power with the right parts. Now, this particular engine, there's, like you said, there's nothing special about it. But if you think about it in terms of what we've done, we do preliminary testing. Again, when we want to do something like this, we will make some tuning changes previous to doing some filming and after filming as well, just to make sure, because once everything's done, we do our own R&D. We are data nerds. We are geeks.
Get to have a little more fun
data.
with it.
So all this we can gather when we're all done. This particular engine, making the amount of power it does, we are not afraid to push this thing relatively hard because we know the parts are good inside, and we know that the tune-up is, in our opinion, because we do keep track, but not only just by data. We come out here, we pull the plug, look at the plug. Again, make sure it's not leaking. We can tell if the thing has crankcase pressure. We can tell if it's obviously leaking. We can tell all of this stuff just by the way the engine is reacting. And again, like we said earlier, this engine has, at this point, probably 70 pulls on it at over 1,000 horsepower. We always get the question of are these engines real? I know that's a relatively, that's a legitimate question because of what we do here, right? But these engines are not TV engines. They're not one and dones. We're not trying to build sparklers. We're not trying to build Roman candles or disposable lighters. This engine makes that kind of power, and it will continue making it. When we're doing, when was it? What was Wednesday?
Wednesday, yeah.
We had 40 pulls on this thing at over 1,000 horsepower and over 1,000 pound-feet of torque.
And the dyno, and the dyno itself, this is the hardest the engine is ever going to be loaded. This is the most rigorous testing it's ever going to see. When we put this in a car, everything after the dyno, I always say it's going to be, the engine's on easy street, right? Because this is where we're torture testing this thing to make sure that it has no issues, make sure it's not going to have any failures later on. And this thing just has been eating it up. So I think this
doesn't even have head studs in it.
No, it's just conventional 23 degree with head bolts. All right, I think we have some questions.
Let's look at some questions.
We got some questions loading up over here.
I don't have my. You want my glasses?
Oh no, I can read it. It's okay.
I'll trust
let's see. Twin turbo 427 big block Ford is what I'd love to see y'all build next. That would actually be really cool. There
is nothing that's off the table on stuff like that. Obviously, because of what we do here, we look at everything and we think it's all cool. So not off the table. Yeah. We'll put that on the board.
We try to have different builds, right? Spread them out. So we might do one of those. It might not be for a little bit because if we did turbo builds back to back to back, everyone would want us to do an NA build. So we try to do a little bit of everything, spread it out a little bit. But yeah, that is not off the question. Shredhead Garage said two-step check. Not going to do that here on the engine dyno, but if this thing goes in a vehicle, there will absolutely be some two-step action because at this power level, that no matter what the car is, we're going to take it to the strip and see how fast it is. Build a 5.7 Hemi for the naysayers. I like that. There's nothing wrong with a smaller displacement Hemi. Yep. I mean, they have just as good cylinder heads, and I always thought it'd be
standing cylinder.
Yeah, and I always thought it'd be kind of fun because 5.7s are so common, they're plentiful. I thought it would be fun to like build a maybe like a Hellcat killer out of a 5.7. I think it'd be a kind of fun idea, like a blown 5.7. Maybe we'll see. Let's see. Mechanic 350 said, why not continue to give some attention to high horsepower plants? I would like to see a full parts list, Bill, for everything engine you build in case we want to duplicate the same thing. All the parts lists are usually available in the description of the video. If you click the links, it will take you to like the specific parts that we used, or at least like the line, so you can pick them for your engine. So make sure you check them out, because usually underneath the entire video, if you go on the PowerNationTV.com website, or if you go onto our YouTube at the bottom, there will be links that take you to, or descriptions at least, of like the parts that we used, and you can get it set up for your application, because like we always say, engines are application specific. So this might not be perfect for what you're doing, but you can take this and tweak it and make it right for your car. Let's see, Stephen James said, what's the compression ratio and boost?
Oh, well, that's a good one.
That's a great question.
This particular one for, excuse me, for a boosted engine, you know, you have, there's certain things that people think about for a boost. Like typically you really knock the compression out of it when you start building a lot of boost. Now, the only thing that lowering compression does on a boosted engine is it opens up your tuning window. This particular engine, because it ran naturally aspirated, this thing was 10.3, was it?
10.26 to 1.
10.26 to 1. So we're going to call it.
We have full build sheets on all our stuff.
Yeah, we have full build sheets on everything.
Know,
yeah, so that's, again, geeks. So,
Yeah.
But this particular one, on that particular run that you just saw, that power number, this engine was on 16.5 pounds of boost right there. So, and we consider that low boost. A lot of the times we will work up to 1 atmosphere. This time we started a little over 1 atmosphere.
Yeah, and then worked up from there.
And then worked up from there because, again, we have high confidence in the build and high confidence in the parts and high confidence in our tune-up. Yeah. And we haven't burned anything up yet, but we keep things very, very safe. And that's by design. If you were putting this thing on the razor's edge, you better know a lot of things. You better know the quality of your fuel, for one thing, and make sure everything else from a test parameter standpoint is dead on, because if you don't, one transposing of numbers on setting air-fuel ratio or timing, you are going to liquefy all the pistons, and they're going to go out the exhaust pipe.
A plus instead of a minus could be very disastrous.
We are not into that. Or always remember, you know, we do our own R&D. R&D does not mean run and destroy. It means research and development, right? So we want to make sure that we keep things safe, and we will incrementally ease things up just because we're comfortable with. This time we had some good fuel, so we weren't afraid to stand on it. And that number you saw is not the top number of this engine. No. You will see that when this engine comes out on the shows.
I will tell you, this is the most powerful engine that has ever been on this dyno.
That's correct.
So do with that information what you will.
Yeah. But if you're good at research, you can see what the highest one was, and go from there. This eclipses it.
This is also the first twin turbo engine on the on our engine dyno, so that's pretty cool too. Mm-hmm. Juan Cafton said, "I love the color, by the way." Thanks. So do we.
Thank you. We like it. Cool. I had a 1982 Fairmont that was this exact same color, so I'm very partial to it.
Someone commented and said, please build that big block Ford 460. So we actually, that engine is now in a project. So the last version of that, we actually switched it back to NA, and we did that because the Dirt and Trails guys put it in their F-150. Yep. So they have a 460 powered
Project
F-150.
Leadfoot.
Project Leadfoot, yeah. So go check it out if you want to see where that engine went. What's your opinion on the GM 4.8 or 5.3 liter? Great engines.
Tried and true engines. Yeah.
If you have a choice, you just go for the 5.3 because dimensionally they're all the same pretty much, and it takes basically the same parts, but you get more displacement out of it. We actually just did one, so that'll be the episode before this. You'll see our Junkyard 5.3 come back, so keep an eye out for that as well.
Junkyard 5.3 on the way, so keep watching. We have a matter of fact, let's address it. We haven't been posting on our YouTube, and it's been like, hey, why come you guys haven't been posting shows? We've been loading up the cannon. Yeah. Now we're going to have a bunch of things that come out in succession that you don't want to miss because they're all cool.
Yeah, between like now and the end of the year, I think it's like one every week. So it's almost like an advent calendar of content. It's pretty cool. So this is the start of a long streak of engine power shows coming every week. So make sure you guys just keep coming back, or hit the notifications bell on the Engine Power YouTube page, because that will give you all the notifications when new episodes drop. Let's see where are we at here. I lost it.
There you go.
Want to see you build a big block Mopar with turbos. That would be pretty cool. We did an ANA one earlier this year. If you haven't seen it, we did a 505 that we brought back, did some changes to it, and picked up a bunch of power. So if you haven't seen that, it's somewhere on our Engine Power YouTube page. You can go check that out.
That was a pump gas 505 with a single Dominator on it, made 760.
Yeah.
Pump gas. pretty spicy.
A twin turbo one would be pretty wild.
Yeah, pretty wild. Absolutely.
Have you ever thought of doing a 3.5 liter EcoBoost?
Yes.
Absolutely. I think those are really cool. I really like the idea of like that as a swap engine. And I mean, Ford made a decent amount of power with them. Aftermarket has made a ton of power with them. So they're a great platform. Would really like to get into that as well. So if anybody is interested in partnering on one of those, reach out to us because that would be super cool to do. And we just have to figure out how to hook it to the dyno. But I'm sure we can figure that out. That's easy.
We do this for a living. We can figure that out.
Yeah, that's easy. Let's see. Ooh, this is a cool one. I don't know how to say the name, but I think first name is probably Jan from Norway. I would like to see a compound turbo small that charges a big one used on gasoline engine. Best regards. That's actually really cool. It's something that is very specific to the application depending on what you're trying to do. Most of the stuff that we are trying to get as far as like street application, you can achieve with a single.
Right.
But that's something that's not out of the question because there's benefits to either sequential or compound turbos depending on what you're doing. So not out of the question. Nope. Something we could do.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. We get this question all the time, but we're going to answer it again. I know Engine Power / POWERNATION is known for its American builds, but would you guys ever build a Euro or JDM motor?
The answer to that is 100% because it's
Absolutely.
an engine, right? We like engines, and to us, the engine, and we don't consider the engine doesn't know what brand it is, right? All it knows is a few simple things, right? And so it's the sum of its parts and how we put it together and what we run it with. So as far as fuel, right? So we are always looking to do something like that, and we are going to dip our toes into that market eventually. We just have to have the right set of circumstances come together, but it's happening because we are actively now looking for some stuff. What's that K? What's it? K what? K24?
K24s?
I know.
He knows what it is.
K24, 2JZ, stuff like that. Very, very. Those are the LS versions of the import world, right? Very, very good. Very, very good parts available because people want to make extreme power. Just like any other gearhead, when you want to make something make more power, you develop the parts for it, and those parts are becoming more and more available and
more cost effective.
And And again, all we got to do is figure out how to bolt it down on here, which we
can figure that out.
We are relatively competent at
we
that.
can do that. Somebody asked what the cam and spring specs were on this engine. So for your information, if you didn't watch the build from last year, which you should totally go to, we did
do that first.
A two-part build on this. But
we'll tell you right.
Yeah, so the cam is it's a hydraulic roller, so it's 248, 256 on a 110. It's in a half a degree advance, so 109.5. And the spring setup these are set up right around 155 pound seat, so a little bit higher, but it's got a good lifter in it. And then it's about 415 to 420 open on this because it still is a hydraulic roller. It wasn't really supposed to be a high RPM engine. We turned 6,800 in our dyno pools, which is plenty for the engine to peak over, and it makes a lot of power in that range.
And interestingly enough, I don't know if you heard it when it was running, this has an LS firing order.
Yeah, you probably couldn't have heard it because
people always say like,
I
hear that. I mean, I've been building engines for almost 40 years, and I really can't usually tell when the firing order is different.
Yeah. Let's see. Gen 6 454 turbo. Gen 6 engine is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kind of rare, but it'd be really cool to do one of those.
Everyone likes the turbo stuff.
Turbos,
because, it's an easy way to make a whole lot of power.
How about some of the V6s from the 90s and 2000s? We actually did one. We did a 4.3. We did a very extensive build, both NA and then turbocharged on a 4.3
very detailed V6. on even the prep.
Yeah, like prep and everything. It was really, really good. So if you look up engine power 4.3 liter, it will come up. We downed the engine naturally aspirated, then we put a 59 millimeter turbo on it. So make sure you go check those out if you want to see some V6 action or some 90s 2000s action.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, we'll take one more right here, and this is a good one because we've actually been talking about this. He said to piggyback on that comment, why not build an air-cooled Volkswagen engine?
Oh no, I dig those, man. I grew up in the time when the sand rails and the dune buggies and all that, where everyone was running around that stuff, and because they sound like like kind of like an import, not modern.
Kind of, but they're just kind of cool
Yeah.
because, I mean, there's like turbo versions that are making a lot of power. The NA versions are really good, and they're air cooled, so it makes it a little bit easier as far as like cooling system stuff. But like that in a bug or something, they could be sporty. So
and no, they'll make power because everything's about power to weight. So if an engine makes 250 horse, but it's in something that doesn't weigh even 1,000 pounds, that is just as spicy as as like a typical hot rod. So there's a lot of opportunities there, and we definitely have had that on the radar. So that's, again, nothing's out of the question. Seeing one of those on here on the dyno, that would actually be really cool. So.
We probably wouldn't even have to put a fan on it because we got so much airflow. But that's cool. All right, so I think we're gonna wrap it up right there.
It's lunchtime.
If you have any other questions, keep putting them in because we will go back and try and answer as many as we can. So new episode on the Engine Power YouTube page, the 434 cubic inch engine that we built at UNOH. Also, other new content. I believe the latest episode from Dirt and Trails was a couple weeks ago. Their Rapid Runner Nissan build. So make sure you go check that out if you haven't already seen it. What else? I think Detroit had some new episodes drop on POWERNATION.
Had some stuff drop on POWERNATION as well with the gasser stuff.
Yeah, so if you like gassers.
Music City Trucks, they always do cool stuff. Just go ahead and check out everybody. Yeah. If you go to POWERNATION or obviously Engine Power. But you go see us and like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on both of them. You're going to see all the new stuff that drops, and keep watching because we are going to inundate you with all of our stuff in the next month or so.
Yeah.
So make sure you watch. Thank you for spending your lunch with us. Right now, we're going to get some lunch ourselves, but thank you very much. Like, subscribe, and go build something cool.
Yeah. See you guys next time.